This is the Elgato Stream Deck, and it is hands down the best accessory you can buy. The possibilities are only limited by your creativity. So let's check this thing out, give you some thoughts or ideas on how you could use this and how you can even get a Stream Deck for free. Hey there, macro lover, it's Brian from Accessify, and on this channel we do unboxings, reviews, and much more of accessories for your tech. So if any of that interests you, you know what to do. So back in 2017, Elgato created the Stream Deck, and it was originally targeted for streamers to automate basic tasks for controlling their streams. But now it's 2023 and it's become so much more than we ever thought. Now we want to use it to improve your workflow like it did for me. Now there are 5 models of the Stream Deck that you could buy right now. There's the Stream Deck Mini, the Mark II, the XL, the foot pedal, and the newer Plus with a bunch of buttons, a nice little touchscreen, and 4 rotatable knobs. But today we are going to talk about the version that I have, which is the 15-key Mark II, which I think is the best of size and function. Now it comes in 2 colors, which are black or white, and you even have replaceable faceplates so you can personalize your Stream Deck to your liking. From what I understand, the Mark II is actually the only model in the whole lineup that has these faceplates that you could swap out. I don't even think the Mini or even the XL have this option. So if you really want customization, the Mark II is where it's at. The Stream Deck comes in an all plastic finish with a decently big rubber anti-slip surface at the bottom. Now, build quality feels very good and I have no complaints here. At the bottom, you will find the USB-C port that's used to provide power and data to your Stream Deck. So yep, no external power bricks here, thank goodness. Included also is a stand to change the angle of your Stream Deck if you choose. And unfortunately, with the Mark II, you only get 2 angles to choose from, which kind of stinks, since the Mark I had a stand which allowed you to have multiple angles to choose from. Each LCD screen has a resolution of 72 by 72 pixels, but the XL version actually has 96 by 96. I'm not sure why there's a higher resolution in the XL model. If you know, let me know in the comments below, but kind of wish I saw that in the Mini and the Mark II models. I think that would be really cool to see. To configure your Stream Deck, you will need to download Elgato Stream Deck software on your computer and then have it run in the background. But once that's done, you can now start configuring your Stream Deck to your liking. But what are some of the things that we can do with this? Well, honestly, you can make it as simple or as complex as you want it to be, and that's the beauty of it. But to unlock more functionality, you can use the Stream Deck plugin store built into the software to add on different plugins to interact with different hardware and software. So let's talk about just some of the ways that you can use this for yourself. The first way you can use this is for creating macros for photo or video editing. Now for me, I do video for a living and I use DaVinci Resolve as my editing software, and I've been slowly creating buttons on my Stream Deck for my most used keyboard keys to have quick and easy editing. I just use the keyboard customization settings in Resolve and then assign a hotkey button to whatever I need. For example, let's say cutting a video clip in a timeline. You can also use this same method for Adobe Lightroom. Just use hotkeys to make small or big changes to your photos, or even use a button to quickly add a LUT to your photo for faster editing. The second way you can use this is as a software engineer. Now, I know nothing about coding, but just in the Stream Deck store alone are ways for you to interact with Microsoft Visual Studio Code, Apple's Xcode, Unity Engine, and even JetBrains IDE. So maybe you want some simple debugging actions, starting or stopping your code, whatever it may be, that's a possibility. Third way you can use this is to control your smart home. And with Home Assistant being the best smart home software, this is a no-brainer. You can control lights, turn on smart plugs, and honestly, if you can control something on Home Assistant, you can control it on your Stream Deck. Now, HomeBridge is here too as well for people that may have HomeKit focused smart homes like myself. So I'm glad to see this as a secondary option. Fourth way I could see you using this, if you do a lot of business work, if your business uses Zoom or Microsoft Teams often, you can have a plugin called Mute Deck, which then you can control your webcam, turning it on and off, mute your microphone, leave a meeting, whatever you want. There are also plugins to control Microsoft PowerPoint and Apple Keynote if you do a lot of presentations, update your Slack status, and if you use iCal, you can even have your deck display how long until your next meeting. Finally, this is the best third-party application you can get, and it's called Companion. Now this allows you to control a massive list of hardware and software and how it all communicates together to create literally the ultimate workflow. I mean, check this out. This Stream Deck controls an ATEM video switcher from Blackmagic. And these Stream Decks are working together to fire ProPresenter slides and give useful information on how long videos have before ending for someone controlling a live stream. Your Stream Deck can control a whole audio mixing console. What? There are some things you will need to do to set this up, but I'll leave the BitFocus companion website in the video description below for instructions on how to set this up. But you don't even need a Stream Deck to actually make that stuff work. If you can access a web page, you can use Companion. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning, do you want a Stream Deck for free? Well, we're going to be using the application from Elgato called Stream Deck Mobile. And as of June 27, 2023, Stream Deck Mobile gives you 6 Stream Deck buttons completely for free. That's having a Stream Deck Mini for free, heck, even with full wireless connectivity. Now, like the name implies, you will need to use a mobile device for this to work. So if you have a spare phone or tablet lying around, this will be ideal, but you could still use your current device if that's all you have. Download the Elgato Stream Deck software, and I'll leave a link in the video description that will take you directly there. Then download the Stream Deck mobile app on your app store and follow the instructions on how to pair. And now you have 6 completely free buttons to use. There's also the Pro mobile subscription that gives you up to 64 keys and some features that aren't even possible with the regular Stream Deck for just $25 a year. If you were to buy 2 Stream Deck XLs, which would give you the 64 keys, it would take you 20 years before you reach the full retail price of both of those XLs combined. That's insane. As you can see, I believe the Stream Deck is one of the best accessories that you can own, and nothing is stopping you from being able to use the Stream Deck to fully become more productive. Now, the Mark II model we talked about today is currently $130 at the time of this recording. But there are other models of the Stream Deck that you can buy, so go down to the link in the video description and I'll have all of those down there if you're interested. Now, if you have some more free time, I recommend you watch this video that I just put on your screen for your convenience, and I'll see you later. Deuces.